Guys, this is our very first video for 2020, and I appreciate everyone who's sticking with us and has been there from the beginning or just now joining us. Thank you so much. We've got a lot of great stuff coming in 2020 from Texas Toast Guitars, and I can't wait to bring all of that to you. Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for joining us for another unbelievably exciting episode of the super tacky plywood Les Ply. Today we are going to be sanding the sealer on the body, and we are going to be sanding the sealer on the neck, and then we will be setting the neck into the body and gluing it and clamping it. Clamp it, Jed. And then we will be ready for another round of sealer. Now, let's talk a little bit about sealer. This plywood sure does suck up the Simtex sealer. And what we're trying to do here is get a bunch of it on the body first and a bunch of it on the neck first before we have them glued together, so that when we get them glued together, there's not like a big seam or big gloppy gob of sealer, you know, where the two pieces of wood join, and et cetera, et cetera. So the neck has a couple of coats, and the body has 2 or 3 rounds of sealer. The important thing to remember is that we always grind the sealer way back after we put it on there, so it doesn't leave that 1/8 inch shell of sealer. Well, all we want it to do is level everything out. Now, when you're using plywood, you probably are going to have a thicker coat than you normally would. So we're going to go with a 220 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander, and with you know, just a piece of sandpaper and a block. If we need to get more aggressive, we'll probably go to like 150 in some spots if we need to. All we're doing though is we are promoting adhesion on the surface so that the next round of sealer will have something to adhere to. And I've gotten this question a couple times, if you are going to sand your sealer and level it and then do your base coat of paint, you want to go a little finer than 220. Normally we go to 220, 320, and then Scotch-Brite to 400 or 600. And that will give you a nice surface to do your base coat with. But enough with the bullshit talk, let's get started. One important thing to keep in mind when you're using an orbital sander is you want to start with it flat on the piece and then wait until it grinds all the way down before you pull it off. What can happen, and it happens to me almost all the time when I do it like this, is I come in at an angle and I put a big groove in the sealer, or I come off at an angle and I put a big groove in the sealer. Neither one is cool. Well, this is just sealer.
Oh.
And the sealer coat is actually going to help not only level out the wood, but also make the shape.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's going to help you. I didn't realize that I thought you were just going to shoot it in sealer and call it a day. I didn't realize you were going to actually put like more work into it.
Oh no, we're gonna seal it and make everything nice and level and smooth.
Cool.
And then we're actually spray clear on it.
Oh, okay. I think I missed a clear for sealer. I don't know how I did that.
It happens a lot. People think that, how about this? Occasionally what happens is people think that because sealer is clear in translucence,
Yeah.
that it is what I
They are
am
one
talking
and the
about
same.
when I say clear.
Right. No, and I know better. I know better than that. I just didn't. I don't know what I managed to think, but other than, I just assumed you were going to be, you know, rough slap the thing together and just be like, look at this awesome tabletop I made.
No way, man. We're gonna give this every opportunity to be
Full on.
to be like a cool.
You want this to be an internet sensation, don't you?
Well, I'm afraid that this won't have the same juice as the popsicle stick guitar or the ramen noodle guitar or the... What have I seen recently?
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it will. I think it's going to have momentum because I know that the pencil guitar it probably took 9 months before it got
did it?
rotation, something like that.
Well, and those are neat because it's all one video.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like several parts and with a lot of me talking.
And you could stitch it together, but this is your format, and that's the way you've chosen it. So I do think at some point one of them will resonate with people and be like, that's freaking cool.
That big blob of sealer right there.
You're going to have to rasp it off. That's funny.
Okay, I think I've got everything as sanded down as it needs to get sanded for this round. As I'm looking at this, so like I burned through in a couple of spots, and right up here is another one. This is going to take a boatload more sealer. There's still some voids here that need to be filled. But what I want to do next is I want to glue the neck into the body because it's time to do that. So I got my trusty Tight Bond and I got my trusty other stuff and some clamps. And so I got all the holes going from pickups to control cavity and to switch cavity, etc., etc. So we're going to get this guy clamped up and glued up, or glued up and clamped up, as ever the case may be, and then it will be ready to fill in some of these voids because like one's right there, and it's just going to be easier to do it with the neck on, believe it or not. Then we'll smoothen the transition here, and it'll be off to more sealer, even more sealer. And I think in just a little while this will be almost ready to be done, but so much more work to do. So let's go ahead and glue the neck. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you guys. I did the top with the palm sander, and then I went back and did the bell area of the carve just by hand because I didn't want to grind that down. I want the carve to kind of do one of these numbers. So come over here and then swoop up. So there was a youngster who told me that I did my carve wrong because it didn't swoop up. I assure you, young man, it does. So, anyway, let's go ahead and set the neck. All right, y'all, let's do this. So I'll probably catch some flack for not using a weenie roller on this, but there's really no way to use a weenie roller on this particular application. But man, this neck joint is different from the Gibson because it does not have a tin-on like a Gibson. It has a tin-on like I use, kind of. This is basically a great big fender neck in many ways. Let's get a little bit on the actual neck too, because why not? This glue is going to go squeezing out all over Hell's Half Acre, you guys. And that's okay. So the last time I put sealer on this, I masked off the neck so that I wasn't gluing sealer to raw wood. So everywhere where there's glue on my neck, that was masked. And I'm gluing wood to wood, I promise. All right, there's really only one way this bad dude can go in. All right, that looks really good, but I want to clean up all this crud because it's so much easier to clean it off before the glue sets up. Righty, righty. And because there's already sealer on just about every part of this guitar with the exception of the glue surfaces, everyone who says, you shouldn't do that because you might impede the stain. Well, first of all, we don't use stain here. And second of all, it's already sealed. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. You already know. You're smart. Man, this thing is not light. No, no, no. This is going to give some 80s Les Pauls a run for their money in the weight department. You think John Sullivan's mad that I'm wearing his shirt while working on the dopiest guitar ever made? Or do you think he's cool enough to be into this guitar, even though it's dopey? I know John a little bit, not much. I mean, I've met him a couple times, and I think he would be cool enough, or rather, I think he is cool enough to think this would at least be fun, this guitar. So now, all we got to do is wait for the glue to set up and put some more sealer on this. We'll probably sand it too before we put more sealer on it, like I was saying. I think we got it. So this is ready. Okay, gang, that is it. This guitar is in clamps, and tomorrow we'll pull the clamps and it will be ready for another exciting round of sealer. Every time we do more sealer, it's going to get cooler and cooler. It's going to get deeper and deeper, and this is going to be super, super cool. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the sealer steps because where I am spraying paint these days, the owner of that shop has asked me not to do any filming or posting from there, and it's a long story, but if you got to know the answer, send me an email and I'll let you know. But I assure you that me squirting polyester on this is unbelievably boring to watch, and I'm in a mask, so I can't say anything witty when I'm doing it. But anyway, so we'll bring you back up to speed with this guy in the next episode. But since we're talking about this video, if you liked this video, give me the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you have any questions about what we did in the video or any of the tools that we used, please leave them in the comment section below. If you need more of an answer than that and you want to deep dive with me, send me an email from my website, and that's texastoastguitars.com. There's a link to contact us. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out with any of that stuff that you like. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to my Patreon page and consider becoming a member, because even $1 a month goes a long way to helping me bring you guys cool stuff like this. If you can't do Patreon though, we totally understand. Share the video as many places as you can. Help us grow the channel that way. Until next time, guys, this is Matt at Texas Toast Guitars, wishing you a happy and healthy new year. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time. And if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.